Yeah, that's like fucking half blocks of fucking Scottsdale.
And there's no good place to watch from. Where are you going to? I was on the 352 Las Vegas, and then when the came out, I realized that I was 250. Yeah, the bunch of finals that he won. He ended with Thursday and Friday. Yeah. He had to take on Thursday and Friday to get back. So he's gonna have to do a little bit of study before the week. Yeah, after you.
Okay, countdown. 15 seconds for the warm-up. Final game of the weekend. Jackets and Nashville. We've played them once so far this year. Lost in overtime down in Nashville. So Phoebes is going to get the start and goal. 17 minutes on the clock. They're playing in the other rink today. Not a good place to really film from or watch from. So we're down in the defensive corner. You look fabulous. You look fabulous. So we're gonna start the game with Luke and Kyle and Sonny and Max and Hayes. Luke will move in for the draw. This one tied up. Hayes jumps forward and backhands it, blocked, and comes into our zone where Hayes will go back for it. Moves it on to Max. Max gets body down, but moves it on to Luke. Luke headmans it up and out through the defense, so saying no icing here. Nashville plays around the near side, bumps into the ref, and they'll move it up the middle. Sonny with a forecheck. Puck played to the left. Flipped in. Near corner. Hayes chips up and out. And they'll wave off that icing with man coming off the bench. Let it go by. Jackson out with Johnny and Trevin. Now Thomas. Thomas pokes it into the corner. Rimmed around. Mitch Reed comes over. Jackson Dixon. Mitch Reed plays it off to Thomas. Thomas moves back behind his own net. Stops. Reverses again. Moves it on up. Trevin goes cross ice to Mitch. Mitch moves to the red line. Backhands it in. Goes behind the net. Jackson gives chase. Can't win it on the forward check. It's tipped up. And here comes Nashville the other way. Johnny with a nice back check. Wins the puck and dumps it in. Trevin skates onto it. Tries to get it out of his feet in the far corner. Goes behind the net. Has it poked away. Nashville plays up to the half boards. Immediate close down by Colin. And Nashville reorganizes in the near corner. Played up to the blue line. Ray faces the puck. That shot seeds chests it, holds it. No rebound. So we're going to face off in the zone. Finish up our change here. Corey out with Colin and Logan. And Ray and Jack. A lot of seeds left. This one floats to Ray. Ray moves it quickly to Corey. Corey up the right-hand side, gains the red line, chips in on the goalie. Bouncing puck covered and held. We get a face-off. 15-10 shown on the clock in the score. The straw in heat. And Logan knocks it behind the net and gets chased. Puck reversed to the near corner, and out comes Nashville to the red line. Jack slows his man up, and Ray rims around. Off the boards, touch pass, Colin to Logan. Logan dumps at the red line and gives chase himself. Puck goes behind, rim to the near side. Corey waiting for it, and a half throws it at the net. Goalie makes the save. Rebound comes to Colin. Colin plays it back up the point, and Nashville comes out. Ray steps forward, bumps his man, and forces a dump in. For an icing. And now we'll face off in the offensive zone to the goalie's right. This draw into the corner. Into the near corner. Battle. 16s playing with us. Max has the puck, lays it off to Hayes. Hayes behind his own net, headmans it to Woods. Woodsy lays it off for Max. Max goes cross ice, that's Hall, goes cross ice to Hayes, who chips it on up. Bumped in by another one of the 16s. Tommy Woods finishes his check, and then the puck plays up. Gets behind Max, but he recovers nicely, gains the red line, and dumps in on the goal. Goalie lays it off behind, and wind around just past Corey. Mitch throws it back at Corey. Dribbles into the zone offside. 15:38 to go. First period, no score. Thomas and Mitch out with Luke and Sonny and Kyle. Nashville wins it in. Siebes holds it up, moves it on along. Sonny takes it off the dash, so it gets knocked back the other way. Nick comes, bodies his man. Nashville has it in the corner. Thomas battling for it, puts it away. Rim around to the near point. Here comes Kyle to pressure, rim back down behind. Touched on. Mitch comes over, rides his man to the half boards. Luke now behind the net. Battles with his man, comes out, played to the far point. That shot blocked, and Luke has it. Taken away from him, and comes behind the net. Thomas wins hard off the glass, takes a funny stance, but comes right to Luke. Luke gets it out of the zone, but is dispossessed right away. Played off the boards. Mitch collects, goes back the way it came, and knocked out to center ice. Johnny on the floor checks. Johnny dispossesses the puck nicely, moves it on to Trevin. Trevin on his forehand pulls over and shoots it quickly. Owen shoulders it and holds it. 12:30 still. On the clock, no score. Ray and Jack are out. Trevin, Johnny, and Jackson. Takes opportunity to go his right. Trevin on this draw. Johnny whacks at it, goes into the defensive corner, put up, gets past Ray, rolling puck, foot race now. Man in front. Jack does a nice job to get a stick down and block that. Ray knocks it on to Jack. Jack touch pass on to Trevin. Trevin gets dumped, and we get a penalty here. First power play opportunity with 12:07 showing. So Kyle, Luke, Sonny will come out. Ray and Thomas. Faceoff will come to the Nashville goalie's right. In deep, puck one to the defensive corner, played back to the point. Oh, Thomas can't quite hold it in with his feet. He's in a tough spot. He plays a great pass to Ray. Ray lays it off to Thomas behind the net. He moves up the ice to play on to Ray. Ray cuts to the middle, has a poke away, but Thomas quickly collects it. Now he'll move to the red line. He has a poke away and play to Ray in his feet. He'll have to come and get it. Ray goes behind the net, moves up the middle, plays across to Thomas. Thomas gains the blue line, carries deep behind the net, gets pinched off, puck comes around. Luke racing for it on the half boards, ties his man up, but then it's chipped up and out. And this will be an icing. So we bring the puck back down to the offensive zone and face it off to the goalie's left now. 102 showing on the penalty. Trevin now out with Johnny and Jackson, Hayes and Max. Trevin on this draw wins it back to Max. Max across to Hayes. Hayes back to Max. Max shot. Big rebound. Trevin with a one-timer. Goalie knocks the netting off the mooring. And we get a whistle, so we get a reface. Same set of 5 out there. Face off to the Willys right now. This one behind. John battling for it with a single man. Comes out away with it. Falls behind. Trevin picks it up. Puts it back to Hayes. And that puck hops. Comes out of the zone. So we're going to face off outside the zone now. Puck comes to Hayes. He comes away with it. Into the zone, lays it off to Jackson. Jackson runs it behind. Hayes goes behind the net. Gets pinned down. Jackson there to help. Johnny and Jackson now digging at it. Johnny comes away with it. Plays to Trevin. Trevin cycles down low. Goes behind the net. Jackson comes in to help. Headman to Hayes. Hayes shot, blocked and save. And shipped down. Foot race. And now Max is going to go for boarding. Cross check. First penalty is up, so Nashville will go straight on to its first power play. So we've got Luke out with Tommy, Jack, and Ray. Puck comes out to the point. High slot, now to the right side, back to the middle. Luke pressures near side, stands on the shot. It ends up almost being a good pass. Tommy chips up off the glass and out. Luke battles for it. Nashville gains the red line and the zone. Ray stands his man up. Jack rims it around. It's partially deflected, played back to the point. Hard pass that's just held in, and then just rimmed around outside of Ray's reach. Ray pokes at it, but can't win it. Puck is now in the corner. Man cuts to the net. That whistles high over the crossbar. Rims all the way around to the near point. Played down low. Back out to the point. Puck played to the high slot. Luke steps forward. Played down low. Jack does a nice job kicking out wide. Puck comes into the corner. Ray bodies one man, and it floats out to Tommy, who bangs it off the boards and out. We're going to go for a change. As Nashville tries to get into the zone and goes wide. Ray shadows him. 2 men down in front now. And nice poke check there by Johnny, and Dixon comes away with it. We got a 3-on-2 against Johnny. Johnny goes wide. Man goes down on his belly to block that pass. Johnny gets it back, still battling for it. 30 seconds remaining on the kill as Johnny is still battling behind the net against 3 men. Ties up that puck, and then he'll come off for a change. Well deserved. Jackson with some pressure down low. 15 seconds now on the kill as Nashville comes up the right side. Hayes faces the puck. Man stops on the half-wood. Cross ice. Man is open. And Nashville is off. So Nashville power play goal, 8 minutes, 11 seconds in the first period. Logan now out with Corey, Colin, Thomas, and Mitch. Nashville ices the puck and bring it back down to the other end. Puck goes into the offensive corner. Cowan gets ridden off. And here comes Nashville. Bouncing puck comes in. Thomas will go back for it. Curls to the outside, moves it on up to Corey. It's in his skates. He gets it back to Thomas. Thomas goes behind the net to Mitch. Mitch moves it on up. Colin on his backhand. Gets it on to Corey. Corey moves it ahead to the blue line, but no further. Then moves it back across to Mitch. Mitch gains the red line and dumps in. Puck goes behind the net as we complete a change. It's Nashville up the middle of the ice. Poked back there by Tommy. Man comes into the zone. Ray stands his man up. Jack comes in to help. Jack digs it out, but gets pinched off on the half board. Colin there to help. Ray plays it to the middle, but has it taken away. Tommy does a nice job flying in and coming away with the puck. Tommy with speed goes to the outside, cuts to the middle, stays with it. Good shot. Blocker save into the far corner. Again at the point, Ray will throw it at the net. That hits the body, chopped at by Tommy, can't get it to go. And then the puck comes to Nashville. Rimmed around, Seeds will hold it up behind the net for Ray. Nashville has two players deep. Moves over to Jack. Jack back to Ray. Ray goes straight up the middle to Tommy, who can't quite control it. Comes out to center ice, then thrown deep. Bounces past Ray, goes behind the net. Ray off the boards to Jack. Takes a funny bounce. Jack gets closed down, stays with it, and gets it on up the hall. And a touch pass by Luke out to center. Luke battling for it. Rimmed around. Siege plays it back the way it came to Sonny. Sonny lays it on for Luke. Luke cross ice. Just a little bit behind Kyle, who reaches for it and gets it into the zone, but no further. Good foot check by Sonny down low. He wins the puck, battling two yellow jerseys. Luke comes in to help. Luke comes away with it, pulls it to the outside. Cross-ice pass, Hayes down low. Hayes back to Kyle. Kyle moves to the middle. His shot partially blocked, shot at by Luke. Thrown back down. Sonny behind the net. Gets rubbed out. And here comes Nashville the other way. Moving with speed, cross-ice pass. Max stands his man up. Hayes will go back to collect it behind the net. Hayes wheels, moves it on to Max. Max gains the blue line, throws it cross ice, missed its intended target. Trevin steps up, comes all the way back to Hayes. Hayes lays it off to Sonny. Sonny loses a handle in his own zone, and then Max comes in to help. It's flipped around, comes out to the other side, turns through the slot, runs on up to Jackson. Jackson tries to go to Johnny, misfires on it, gets it back, goes cross ice. Trevin will charge down behind the net. Tries to move it on through, can't reach it. Johnny comes in and takes it. Johnny battling behind the net in the far corner. Tries to pull it back. Jackson there to help. 2-on-2 scrum. Puck goes back behind the net to the near side. Johnny's still in pursuit. Chipped up. And flipped into the bench by Mitch. 4:19 shown on the clock, first period. And now Logan out with Corey, Holland, Stubb Thomas, and Mitch face off to Seeds right. This draw, sitting right on the dot, and finally Thomas comes away with it behind his own net. He'll set up. Plays to Mitch in the left corner. Headmans it on to Colin, who can't quite control the pass. Nashville gains control in their own end. Cross ice. Drop pass. Misfires. Goes behind. Seeds holds it up. Moves it on to Thomas, but out of his reach. Comes to Corey on the right half board. Logan in there digging two. Corey and Logan digging 2-on-2. And then it comes behind the net. Thomas will pick it up. Cuts up the middle of the ice and out to the left. Stops at his own blue line and has the puck taken away. Rubes with a nice save. 3:37 showing on the clock, first period. now Tommy Woods will come out with Paul and Grishka, Ray and Jack. Puck tied up. Shot wide of the net. Comes out the other side. Thrown out through the slot. Chopped at by Hall. Jack gets a piece of it, but can't get it out. Slipped high over the glass. Rail skate onto it. Hits it up in the air. Bouncing puck gets to the red line. Nashville does a nice job chipping it back in. And now a foot race with Jack trying to get back. Does a nice job of holding that up and moving it into the corner. Jack moves it on up the half field. Griffin gets bumped. Chipped on by Tommy. Ray comes over and flips it out. Paul chops at it, comes to Ray. He's got to wait for people to get on side, runs into his own man, and then dumps it deep. 2:55 remaining as Nashville reorganized. Sonny out now with Luke. This one played in. Siege holds it behind the net. Passes it. It's intercepted by Nashville. They don't get a good shot off. So they've got Luke, Kyle, Sonny, Max, and Hayes out. Face off to Siege left. This one went back to the point. Played down low. Hayes first one to it. Knocks it on around. Luke chips it on up to Kyle. Kyle has it dispossessed right at the red line. And now Nashville comes the other way. Wins around. Hayes moves it on to Kyle. Kyle spins to avoid a hit. He blockers it into the corner. Max on the puck. Max bodies his man. Luke comes in to help. Played back to the point. Cross that puck. That shot wide and chipped up. They'll say no icing as the defenseman tried to make a play on it. Battle behind. Sonny comes away with it, gets it out in front, but the shot gets blocked, and now it floats across the blue line, held in by Trev. Trev throws it to the net, but it was blocked. Comes all the way up to Thomas, who throws it back in, but Sonny is still in the zone, so that's an offside. 1:32 shown on the clock. Nashville up 1-0. Kevin Jackson, Johnny out. Thomas and Max, that shot in from the point. Seed gobbles it up, no rebound. So we'll do it all again. Trevin wins this one to the defensive corner. Nick runs it around to Thomas, hops over his stick. Played back to the near point. Johnny steps forward, thrown down low. Mitch moves over to the far corner, bodies his man, knocks him down, moves it on ahead. Trevin reaching for it. It comes up to Jackson, who kicks it to Johnny. Johnny lays it off to Trev, but behind him, Johnny comes back to it, puts it into the zone. Jackson has it, cuts in the middle. That shot, big rebound. Nobody home in the slot, and Nashville comes the other way. Thomas, nice poke check, rides his man to the corner, and Johnny pick it up. Johnny moves up the ice, headman quickly to Trevin. Trevin at the blue line, absorbs the hit, can't get it deep, flipped out to neutral ice. Thomas will skate onto it, plays it quickly to Mitch. That puck is rolling. He goes behind the net to Thomas. 35 remaining in the period. Here's Ray. Ray comes in front of his own net, circles around behind his net, moves up, lays it off, but nobody here on the near side. Thomas has to come in battle. Ray picks it up. 20 seconds now. He headmans it to Colin. Colin gains the red line and dumps. Puck behind the net. Corey pressing, but can't win it. 10 seconds remaining in the period. Here comes Nashville the other way. Pass intercepted. And the shot now goes wide on Ray. 2 seconds remaining. And that should take care of the period. So we'll get a 1 minute break and start the second. Okay, we're going to start the second period. Trailing 1-0 to start with. Luke, Kyle, Sonny, Max, and Hayes. Now moving towards the camera. Luke moves into the straw, wins it back to Max. Max to Hayes. Hayes back to Max. Max moves up into the neutral zone, chips in. Luke bodies his man heavily into the boards, knocks him down. Sonny wins the puck on the half boards, gets it in his feet. Luke comes over to help, moves back behind the net. Kyle comes down and steals it. Kyle pins it to himself. Now on the half boards, back to Hayes. Quick shot deflected by Sonny. Really makes a nice save, and now it comes Nashville the other way. Max stands his man up at the blue line. Hayes collects and moves quickly to Kyle. Kyle cross-ice pass on to Sonny. Sonny steps it into Max. Max tried to lay it off for Luke, but couldn't get it there. Here we go the other way. Hayes faces the puck. Man open on the far side. Play to the near side. Hayes throws him loose. Puck comes up. Kyle flips the backhand. Sonny first one to it. Tries to pull it back to himself. Gets bodied off the puck. Johnny now out. Jack steps down and can't quite hold it in. Has to play it back to Ray. Puck bouncing around, and then Nashville steals but brings it in offside. So we're going to face off outside the zone. We got Trevin, Jackson, and Johnny out with Jack and Ray. Puck rimmed in, goes to the far corner. Ray battles and wins that one, losing on to Trevin. Trevin held off the boards, but not out. Bouncing puck that sees gloves and holds. 15:32 shown on the clock. Nashville up 1-0. Trevin on the draw to Seed's right. This one back to the half-woods. Johnny pressures. Puck chucked behind. Trevin battles his man, knocks him down, but can't win the puck. Puck loose on the half-woods. And Trevin comes away with it. Has it checked away from right at the red line, but Johnny was waiting for it, and then Trevin had his momentum and carried him into the zone, so he was offside. Change up the lines. Colin coming out with Logan, Corey, Thomas, and Mitch. Face off. Oh, they're going to say intentional, so we're going to go all the way back to our zone to Seed's right. Logan will take this draw. Puck bouncing around, played back to the left point, now over to the right point, now back to the middle. Thrown wide of the net intentionally. Chipped up off the glass to the point, but not out. Thrown right back down behind. Thomas will go down in the far corner, tries to move it on the half boards. Corey can't win it. Logan in to help. 2-on-2 scrum there. Thomas kicks it to himself and moves it around to Mitch. Mitch quickly to Colin. Colin exits the zone, comes to the red line, flips to the middle. That puck bounces over Logan and comes back out to Mitch, who plays quickly to Thomas. Thomas wheels and dumps it in. Puck played by the goalie onto the half boards. Logan with a quick shot. And Corey, I think, got a piece of it, ends up hitting a crossbar, coming straight down and not going in. And then flipped right back in on the goalie, who sticks it behind the net. We go for a change here. Headman pass misses everybody, and they'll say icing on this. 15:06 remaining, so just a hair away from tying it up. So this faceoff will come down into the Nashville zone to the goalie's right. We've got Tommy out with the 216s, Paul and Grishka. Puck played up, bouncing puck. Max reaching for it, can't win it. Puck bounces into the bench, and we'll face it off again. So we'll do it all again from the same spot. Puck in feet now, played back to Max. Max throws it at the net, misses wide. Flips up, Hayes kicks it at the blue line and brings it back into the zone. Flip back the other way, bouncing puck, Max collects and wheels. Flips it forward, but it hops over Paul. Grishka, anticipating that, plays it back to Tommy. Tommy cross ice pass to Hayes. Hayes throws it at the net, misses just wide of the net. Max pinches down, throws it at the net, looking for deflection. Kelly, this man steps forward and Paul gathers it, plays it back to Tommy. Tommy quickly on to Grishka, who deflects it in. And Nashville will wind up. Flip forward. This will be an icing. And 13:05 show on the clock. Still 1-0 Nashville. We'll complete a change here. Sonny coming out with Luke, Kyle, Ray, and Jack. Face off to the goalie's left. Into the defensive corner. Tipped hard off the glass and up and out. Nashville gains the blue line. Ray takes his man down. Puck goes in the corner. Jack wipes it on around. Sonny, had Kyle breaking, but couldn't get it out of his own to him. Held in at the point. Kyle bodies there on the half boards. Chipped up to the point and out. Sonny battles, tries to lift the stick and steal it, gets it into the zone. Kyle comes in, finishes his check, but the puck's around. Jack pinches and gets it in deep. Sonny fires through his man. Puck played up to the point, and out comes Nashville. Poke check there at the blue line. Puck gets sent in behind, and Jack moves it on around to Kyle. Kyle, with some time and space, flips it forward to Sonny. Sonny pushes it through, can't maintain control. Played around behind, reversed. Forwards go for a line change. Trevin, Johnny, and Dixon coming out. Puck deflected in. Ray blocks that. Puck bouncing, comes out in front. Dixon finds it, goes hard up the glass. Bouncing puck hops over the defenseman's stick and comes down to the Nashville zone. 11:40 showing on the clock, second period. Headman pass falls right to Jack, who had to wait for people to get on side. Then he dumps in. Johnny behind the net, can't quite get there. Trevin pinching down, reverse the other way. Mitch steps forward to try and hold that in, but can't. Back the other way to Dick, though. He gets 4 steps into the boards, but maintains his feet. Here comes Trevin. Trevin tries to dip around one man, and then it's dumped in. Behind the net. Out comes Mitch, backhands to Johnny. Johnny through the middle to Trevin. Trevin chips it past his defenseman, but he gets ridden off the play, and the goalie covers and holds. 10:58 shown on the clock. Change the forwards up. Kyle and Morgan and Corey coming out with Mitch and Thomas. Face off the goalie's left. Puck went into the defensive corner, chipped up. Thomas uses his feet to hold it in, but then it's kicked out. Mitch throws it back the other way. Thomas coming back into the zone, picks it up, plays it off the boards for Logan. Logan misfires on the pass, and it's intercepted and brought right back into the zone. That shot hits Seeds in the chest, and rebounds. I'm going to face off in the zone. Same set of 5 out there. Just draw one cleanly back to the point. Played to the right side. Back to the left afterwards. Top of the circle shot. Seed saves that. Logan in the corner. Pops up and out. And Nashville regains control. Back on blue line. Collin pressures that intercepts. Logan dumps it back in. Kicked by a Nashville player. Held up at the line. Again, Logan on a forecheck. Played to the left side before he steps forward. That's passed in and no touch. This will be an icing. 10:04 shown on the clock. Change the forwards up again. Here comes Sonny, Kyle, and Luke, Max, and Hayes. Face off to the goalie's left. Tommy, excuse me, not Luke. Tommy on the draw, just to the half boards. Sonny anticipated but couldn't win it. Nashville plays up. Held up at the red line by Max, who throws it right back in. Left behind the net. Pressure there by Kyle. Play it up. Sonny steps forward but can't win it. Nashville cross-ice pass, offside. 9:41 shown on the clock. Faceoff will come outside the zone. Same set of 5 there. Tommy, Kyle, Sonny, Max, and Hayes. Again, Tommy will move in for the draw. Tucker's sitting in feet, kicked forward, finally chipped up by Tommy, who then going to go race for it himself. Puts his man under pressure, rides him into the corner, forces a bad pass. Sonny comes deep, tucked wind around. Cross-ice pass that misses everybody, and this will be an icing. We'll bring it down to the other end and change lines up. Out comes Luke, Johnny, and Jackson, still Hayes and Max. This face off to the goalie's right. Luke will take this draw. Comes back to Max. Max's shot hits a man in front, never makes it to the net. Reverse back behind. Now to the right corner. Jackson closes that down. Chipped up, and Max will come back for it. That goes into the corner. Hayes pulls it behind the net, moves it back to Max, who headmans it onto Dixo, who chips it up out of the zone. Luke pressures. There's a somewhat errant pass. Comes to the blue line, and then it's slipped in. Puck goes behind the net. Max first one to it. Reverses it. Johnny will go down low. He closes that man off. Chipped up the boards, but held in. That shot whistles wide of the net. Comes to the right corner. Played behind the net. Max bodies his man. Comes into the far corner where it's played up to the point, but not out. Thrown right back down to the half boards. And Johnny now collects. Johnny moves up the ice into the zone. His shot whistles wide of the net. Luke gets pulled down from behind. No call there. Corey onto the ice, has it. Goes behind the net. Shields the puck, but gets bumped off of it. And then chipped up off the glass. This will be icing, and this will be the whistle for the ice cut. So we'll be back after the ice cut. Okay, ready to start the second half of the game. 7:52 on the clock. Nashville up 1-0. Going to start with Sonny, Kyle, Luke, Max, and Hayes. Funny bounce off the stanchion, falls right to a Nashville player. Hayes moves over. That shot whistles wide of the net. Big rebound comes out to the far side. Luke battling for it. Sonny comes onto it. Has Kyle in front of him. Can't get it. Bouncing puck that pops over Hayes' skate. Then he rims it hard around. Sonny slows it up on the half board. Tries to move it back the other way. Nashville gains control. They play behind the net. Laid off. Sonny flicks that up and free. Held Max. Bouncing puck does a great job holding it at the line. Kicks it to himself. His shot. Short side. Goalie makes the save. No rebound. Johnny, Jackson, Trevin coming out. Ray and Jack face off. Two the goalies left. Johnny on this draw. Gets to the half board. Jack throws it back to Ray. Jack now tries to throw it at the net. It's blocked. Comes right back to him. It's bouncing around his feet. Now Jack has it. Goes quickly across to Johnny. Johnny backhand. Brings it into the zone. Moves it on to Trev. Trev goes cross ice. That's intercepted and thrown out for an icing. He's looking for Jackson on the far side. He was there, but the puck didn't reach him. So we'll do it again from the goalie's right. Johnny on the draw. Trevin to the middle. Sticks him to the half boards. Tied up in feet, and now Nashville gains the blue line. Ray stands his man up, but the puck gets chipped out. Falls to Jack, who floats into the middle. Jackson tries to split a couple of men, can't do it. It's chipped right back out to Jack at his own blue line. He backhands it to Johnny. Johnny swivels, gets it in his feet, and gets it to Jackson, who dumps it deep. Puck goes behind the net. Johnny comes down low, just can't reach it. On the half board, he recovers and steals it. He's trying to go across ice, couldn't do so. Rims it around behind the net, and Jackson will give chase. Nashville headman through the middle. Corey pokes that away, and it falls to Ray. Ray goes behind his own net with 6 minutes showing. He lays it off with Jack. Jack moves up the middle of the ice. Off the boards to Colin, who tips it. And Nashville gains control. Corey pressures hard off the glass, skips past Logan. Comes to Ray, who lays it off for Thomas. And now Colin has it. Red line. Misfires on the pass. And Nashville into the zone. Throwing it Seeds. Chests it. Covers the rebound. And holds for a face-off. Tommy coming out with Paul and Grishka. And we've got Thomas and Mitch back on defense. Face off to Siege left. Puck goes behind the net. Played to Thomas. Thomas headman all the way to Grishka. Grishka into the zone. Lays it off. Just out of Hall's reach. And the puck floats back to Mitch. Now it's poked, and Tommy will be the first one shoot in the corner. Peels to the outside. Plays back to the point. Thrown towards the net, bouncing puck. Grishka bats at it a couple of times. Paul turns around and fires, can't get it to go. Held in by Thomas. Thomas on the half boards goes down to Grishka. He moves it on around. Tommy will be the first one to it, shielding the puck. Lays it back off for Paul. Can't get it there. Puck on the half board. Paul keeps battling for it. Tommy pulls it inside one man, tries to get past him, but can't. Stays with it. And now moves to the near corner. Grishka tries to close his man down. Post at the line and floating around. Oh, and then it pops out of the zone and then hits Thomas's skate and comes back in on all sides. 4:40 showing on the clock. Kyle coming out with Luke and Sonny. Max and Hayes face off outside the offensive zone. Luke will move in for the draw. In feet. Kyle plays it back to Max. Max hits the goalie in the arms with it. Hayes pinches deep. Puck is on the half boards and then shipped on pass, and Max will be the first one to it. Goes behind his own net, reverses it for Hayes, but it hits the net and comes out in a funny spot. Now it's on the half boards. Max will skate onto it, flips it up, bouncing puck will come to Sonny. Sonny has man in front. Oh, and Luke couldn't get it to go on a bouncing puck. Sonny has it behind the net. Goalie's falling down. Sonny tried to stuff it. Puck is bouncing and then comes out to Hayes, who has to wait for people to get on side. He gets it into the zone. Sonny looking for it. Can't find it. Chipped but held and knocked down low. Here comes Luke. Luke pursuing, gets a piece of it, and then played up and out of the zone. Hayes holds at his own red line. Lays it on to Kyle. It hops over his stick. Luke comes in, can't win it. Now he's got two men occupied on the boards. Kyle battling for it, tries to chop it forward. Hayes stands his man up, but Nashville comes into the zone. Puck knocked behind the net. Sonny on collect as Nashville's changing. Moves around behind to Hayes, who throws quickly to Kyle. Kyle up the boards, Max off the boards, and to Luke, who tries to move it forward, gets it to the blue line, but no further. Here comes Nashville into the zone. Hayes faces that puck. Puck rimmed around. Max bodies his man near half boards. Sonny digging for it, played up to the point, played cross ice. Here comes Johnny, man of the near side. Seed sees that one, shoulders it, big rebound, and now it's flipped on, and this will be icing. 2:46 shown, second period. Trevin, Jackson, Johnny, Ray, and Jack. This face off to Seed's left. Chopped out by Jackson. Shields it and moves it quickly to Johnny. Johnny moves outside on his man. Tries to touch the middle. The angle shot. Held the short side. And then played up and out. Ray gloves. Plays to the half board. Drop goes back to Ray. Ray behind the net. Puck gets a little bit away from him. He stays with him on the half boards. It gets reversed back down low. Jack bumps his man. Stays with him. Puck moved into the far corner. Johnny comes over, hits his man, takes the puck away, headmans to Jackson. Jackson brings the puck in, gets moved off. Trevin dumps his man halfway into the bench, and then Jack moves forward onto Dixo. Dixo tries to flip it in, but it gets knocked back. Jack has it at his own blue line. Backhands it out, but held at the red line, and then dumped in. Corey picks it up, plays hard off the glass to the blue line. Nashville reorganizes, flips out. It'll come to Ray. Ray chips it back in, glove down, and Nashville will carry behind their own net. Played to the far boards. Logan comes over, forechecking a little bit, blocks it, comes to Corey. Corey lays it off for Colin. He can't get past his defenseman, played the other way. Puck reaches the blue line. Skipped in just past Ray. Puck floats out in front, wide open net, but no yellow jersey to get a stick on it. That puck hits the post and comes out. Seeds with the save on a shot from the point into the near corner. Moved on around. Corey battling in the near corner with Thomas. Nashville shot from the point. Seeds chests that, holds on the rebound. Tommy coming out with Hall and Grishka. Mitch and Thomas, 55.2 seconds shown on the clock. Still 1-0 Nashville. Face off the Seeds right, this one into the defensive corner. Thomas moves on around to Mitch. Mitch headmans it on to Grishka. Grishka a little bit behind Hall, and then we go the other way. Nashville into the zone, escape turn to the outside, and then dump deep. Thomas moves it back the way it came. Grishka comes over, moves it up the half boards to the line, and then out. Pressure by Hall, played across, and dumped in. Seeds pads that, gloves it, holds it, 26 seconds remaining. Johnny Jackson will come out. With wingers, Tommy will stay out there. Still Mitch and Thomas, 26 seconds on the clock, face off to Siege right. One back to the near point, bouncing puck closed down quickly by Johnny and then chopped out by Tommy. And Mitchell skate onto it, tried to headman it to Jackson, but couldn't get it there. Puck comes to the line and dumped just in. Skated onto by Thomas. Thomas peels behind his own net, cuts to the inside, headmans it on to Tommy. Tommy with 2 seconds, not enough for anything to happen here. A little whistle for an offside right at the horn, and we'll take our 1 minute break. Okay, start of the third period, 17 minutes, trailing 1-0. Got Luke, Kyle, Sonny, Max, and Hayes face off at center ice. Just draw one into the zone. Hayes will go back for it. Hayes wins it hard around onto Sonny. Sonny flips it up and out. I'm not saying icing. Kind of a late whistle there. Luke was flying up the ice trying to get there. This will come back down to the other end. This will come to Siege's left. Luke will move into the draw. One back to the point. Thrown at the net. Reversed just past Luke. Luke bodies his man and played out to the point. Held in. Siege chests it. Puck is loose. And then he finally covers it. And we get a whistle. 32 seconds down. Trevin, Johnny, Dixo come out. Still Hayes and Max. Face on will come to Siege right. Up and through, quick shot. Hayes clears it quickly to Jackson. Jackson, blue line cross ice pass, partially deflected behind Johnny. Sent in. Hayes steps forward, chips the puck. It goes into the corner. Max reverses it. Falls to Johnny. Johnny has Trevin to the middle. Hits it on to Dixo. Dixo with speed, quick shot. Big rebound. Johnny fires it just wide of the net. Hayes holds it in and moves it on to Trevin. Trevin's shot. Deflection. Johnny tries to bump it in with his hip. Couldn't get it to go. Now the puck's coming all the way back down into our end. I'm not sure. Maybe Johnny hit it with a hand or something. I'm not sure. But 15:58 showing on the clock. Johnny will take the draw. Sends this into the corner. Jack skates onto it. Jack's behind his own net. Ray moves to the left. Johnny hits him. Excuse me, Jack hits him. Ray gains the red line, jumps in. Johnny fires behind, knocks it loose. Dixo comes over to the half boards, pops free, and now bumped off the boards, and Jack will come over to it. Jack will curve around the net, goes around one man, moves up the ice, gains the red line, enters the zone, goes wide, squeaks by a hit, pursues the puck down. Jackson knocks it back the other way, but can't win it. Played up the boards, hops over a couple of sticks, and this will be an icing. Logan now out with Colin and Corey. Ray and Jack. 15-15 showing on the clock. Nashville plays up to the half boards and across ice pass into the zone. Shot glove saved by Siege, no rebounds. We get a face off in the zone. Logan can't win this. It's in feet, floating around, and then Colin comes away with it, chips it out of the zone. Nashville organizing at their own blue line to the red line and chip. Ray does a nice job of initially settling that down, but then it's chipped deeper. Jack comes in, wins it, reverses it to Ray. Ray curls up the ice, moves to the middle, a little bit behind Colin, who finds it on his left side, gets it into the zone, gets on to Corey. Corey carries deep, goes behind the net, comes it out in front, but Colin couldn't reach it, and Nashville comes the other way. Man steps inside, one defenseman moves wide, and Jack collects, moves behind his own net. Fields that has it taken away. Ray does a nice job knocking it back into the corner, and Jack moves it on to Colin. Colin tries to go cross ice to Corey. It's deflected, comes out of the zone. Jack bumps his man, and Ray will collect. Ray settles the puck down behind his own net. Tommy fires through. Ray goes off the boards to Tommy. Tommy saw a hit coming and had to let it go, and then it's rimmed right back in. Siege holds it up behind the net. Mitch plays past Ray. Now it's tangled up in the half boards. Ray comes away with it, moves it on quickly to Grishka. Grishka over to Hall. Hall comes wide. Gains the blue line. Quick shot. Glove save. No rebound. 13:38 to show on the clock. Still 1-0 Nashville. Face off in the zone. Mitch and Thomas now out defensively with Tommy, Grishka, and Hall. Straw in feet. No possession. Defensive corner. Grishka skates onto, carries behind, reverses the other way to get out of some feet. Now throws it behind the net. Comes out to Tommy. Tommy back to Mitch. Mitch throws it at the net. Never makes it there. Tommy wins it again. Throws it behind the net. Played up to the near point. Puck is bouncing around. No clear possession. Now floats out to Grishka, who goes across to Mitch. Mitch headmans on to Hall. Hall deflects it in and gives chase behind the net. Grishka plays it back to Mitch. Mitch's shot. Deflection goes wide, short side. Goalie keeps it from coming back out in front. And played up to the half boards. Mitch comes over, throws it. Got the net blocked. Grishka throws it out in front. Puck is in the corner. Hall's got it. Tries to come back to Mitch. He goes back down low. Grishka behind the net reverses. Tommy comes in to help. Tommy gains control of it. Steals the puck, reverses back. Looking for some help. Plays back to the point to Mitch. Mitch across to Thomas. Thomas trying to create some space. Throws it back down low. Wingers are gassed here. Nashville ices the puck. And we'll change up the line. 12:23 showing on the clock. Sonny, Luke, and Kyle coming out with Max and Hayes. Face off in the zone. Puck goes into the defensive corner now behind the net. Kyle tries to close that down. Puck comes up to the blue line. Hayes pinches and holds it in. Kicks it back down deep. thrown towards the net, intercepted. Puck comes to the near half woods. Kyle steps forward for it and knocks it back the other way. Now Sonny comes over on the far half woods, throws it in the net, misses wide. Kyle throws it back behind. Sonny behind the net, tries to throw it out in front. It's deflected by one of the defensemen, and here comes Nashville the other way. Puck goes into the corner. Max bodies his man down. Hayes and Max, puck behind the net, won by Luke. Luke and Hayes now battling. And floated out to a vacated point, and Sonny will race for it but can't get there. Chopped at his man, can't win it. Thrown back in, but Nashville player still in the zone offside. So Jackson, Johnny, and Trevor now out. Still Max and Hayes. Face off center ice, 11:15 on the clock. Just try one to the half-woods. Hayes chops at it. Comes to Trevin. Trevin can play to Max. Max headmans to Johnny. Johnny on to Dixer. Dixer left point. Back to Johnny. Under his skate. Comes into the right corner. Trevin pursues and goes behind the net. Johnny pressuring up the half-boards and chipped past Max. Hayes will collect. He'll settle behind his own net. Headman to Johnny. Johnny steps inside one man. Tries to lay it off to Trevin, but brought back in and rimmed around. Siege throws it out in front. Intercepted, and then honestly, I think the only reason it didn't go in was his Siege just trying to get back out in front. He brought the net off the mooring and moved the right post to the center of the ice. So a shot that was going to be on frame ended up outside of the net. Almost disastrous there, but it remains 1-0. Corey chips that forward. That hits a couple of bodies, comes off of Jack, and Ray comes away with it. Ray off the boards out of Collins' reach, going right back the other way. Jack moves it on up to Corey. Corey lifts a stick, but can't get the puck. It's held in. Drop pass. That shot, Siebes makes a nice job. Puck behind the net. Right up to the point. Siebes blocks that one into the left corner. Nashville. That shot, Siebes makes the save. Oh, and that one on the rebound goes between his legs and drifts wide. Puck played behind the net. Now on the half-boards, up to the point, Corey steps forward. Played to the far corner, and the near point, thrown at the net. Siebes chests it, holds it, no rebound. .9:42 showing the clock. Thomas and Mitch coming out. Luke, Tommy, Kyle. Face off to Siebes left. Wide of the net. Thomas off the road, shifts it on up. Kyle spins. Luke comes in to help, but can't get it out of the zone. Now battle on the half boards. No clear possession. Thomas whacking at it. Tom pinches his man. Luke comes in to help. Thomas comes away with it. Gets closed down quickly. Luke there. Just a 2-on-2 scrum. Played back to the half boards. Man tries to step inside one man. Thomas shots at that, but can't win it. Thomas gets away, I think, with a hold there. Puck played up to the point. That shot, deflection that Siebes gobbles up. No rebound. 8:44 showing. Johnny, Jackson, Trevin, Hayes, and Max now coming out. Excuse me. It's Tommy, not Trevin. Jackson, Johnny, and Tommy face up to Siege left. He wins this one behind. Hayes moves it on to Max. Max headlands to Johnny. Johnny lays it off to Tommy. Tommy moves out of his own, quickly over to Jackson. Jackson, top of the circle. That shot wide of the net. Comes all the way out to the point. Thrown back down low by Hayes. Now in the corner, Tommy gets the puck, steps inside one man. Back to Hayes. He goes back down low. Jackson behind the net. Wheels. Johnny comes in, pulls it back the other way. Stays on it. Jackson bodies his man, but it comes to the near corner. And now Nashville moves up the ice. Man flips it in. Siege leaves it for Hayes. On to Max. Max, blue line, red line. Dump, partially deflected. Nashville reorganized behind their own net. Into the zone. Pass is bouncing, knocked over to the half boards. Max chips it up, but not out. Rimmed around. Hayes moves it on up. Gets it out of the zone, and Nashville gain control with 7:20 remaining. Bruce down the forecheck. Nashville to the near side. Cross ice pass. Max comes over, pushes his man wide. He blows a tire. Max picks up the puck. Ref blocks that attempted clear. Max moves it around to Ray. Ray in the near corner. Headman's a bouncing puck. Pops over Hall and all the way down. And with completed change, Trevin now out with Corey and Collins. Ray flips it on to Trevin. Trevin with some space. His shot deflects wide of the net. Just out of Corey's reach, but he stays with it and picks it up off the half boards. Goes back down low. Trevin can't reach it. Comes to the near corner. Colin over there on the half boards battling for it. Comes up to the near point. And here comes Nashville the other way. Ray follows his man, gets a stick down and blocks that pass, but then the puck is floating. Finally calls to Colin. Colin chips it off the glass and out. Corey will get some forechecking as Logan comes down as well. Just out of Corey's reach, but Colin holds it in. Then it gets tipped back the other way. Ray faces the puck. Jack to his right. Drop pass. Man comes in. That shot gloved by Siege. No rebound. 6:02 showing on the clock. Thomas coming out. He's now out with Jack. Excuse me, Thomas out with Mitch. Thomas tries to play it to Mitch. It pops out the other way. Kyle gets closed down. Mitch tries to move it around. It's partially deflected. He stays with it. Puck goes into the corner. He chips it on to Sonny. Sonny can't win it. Puck now held. And Thomas moves it around out of Kyle's reach and thrown right back down. Thrown at Siege, who gloves and holds. 5:31 shown. Johnny coming out with Jackson and Tommy. Still Thomas and Mitch. Still 1-0. Tommy will take the draw to Siege's right. Adam skates onto that one. Moves it quickly to Dixo. Dixo throws it at the net. Goalie gloves it, holds it. Leave that same set of 5 out there to face off in the offensive zone to the goalie's right. Tommy lining up for the draw. One back to the point, quickly to Jack. Jack's shot blocked, but Thomas throws it back down. Called at the half boards and then down low. Johnny battling for it, can't win it. Dixon in there too. Pulls up the half boards. Tommy comes down low, winds around to the other side. Johnny should be the first one to it. Towards the middle, lays it off to Jackson. Tries to go back to Johnny a little bit behind him. He knocks it behind. Jackson cycles in, has it in the near corner, wins it back to Thomas. Thomas steps inside one man across to Mitch. Mitch's shot, just saved, no rebound. Here comes Sonny, Kyle, and Trevin, Max and Hayes. 4:49 still on the clock. Again, offensive zone face-off. This time for Trevin. And feet and banged hard off the glass. Max goes up and holds it in. Chops at it, it's blocked. Pops out and played back to Hayes. Hayes moves it quickly to Kyle. Kyle into the zone. Tries to go wide on his man, gets held off. Plays it back to Hayes. His shot deflected across the Max. Comes out of the zone. He plays quickly to Hayes. Hayes back to Max. Max to Sonny. Sonny steps inside one man. Moves it to the blue line, but flips back out. Comes to Hayes. Hayes lays it off to Max. Max on to Kyle. Kyle flips it up. That's behind Hayes. Thrown back in. Goes back behind the net. Hayes comes in. Plays it behind the net. Plays it out in front. That hits Max. And Hayes collects the rebound. Reverse. Thrown out in front. Max. And tries to shut the short side. Siege holds the net, and we get a whistle. And Max took a shot off the hand there, trying to shake it off. 3:42 remaining. Johnny, Jackson, and Tommy coming back out. Now with Ray and Jack. Face off to Siege left. 3:42 on the clock. Just one into the defensive corner. Ray skates onto it, moves it around. Johnny shields the puck, allows Jack to come onto it, but he can't get it out of the zone. It's thrown right back down. Ray moves on quickly onto Jackson. Jackson cross ice to Johnny. Johnny gains the blue line. Now we got a penalty behind the play. I'm not sure who it's going to be on. Ray's going to the box. There's Nashville players going to the box too, so we should have coincidental minors. So hold on Nashville, a rough on Ray, and so we'll continue to skate 5-on-5. Thomas will come out for Ray. So Thomas and Jack, Tommy, Jackson, Johnny face off to the goalie's right. This one back and just held in by Jack, who dumps it down deep. Jackson tries to pull and win it. Jack jumps down low and holds it on the half boards. Played back behind the net, rimmed around. Thomas tries to hold it in, but it's chipped past his stick. Johnny collects, moves up the ice, plays off the boards to himself, gets it into the zone. Not deep. Tommy battling for it. Puck goes behind the net. Nashville floats it up and finally out of the zone. Held up at the blue line and now played to the far side. Played off the boards and dumped in. Thomas reverses it to Jack, who goes quickly to Jackson. Jackson on to Tommy. A little bit behind him. Kyle gets a stick on it but can't control it. Gets it into the zone but no further. That shot kicked wide by Siege and Luke. Flips it on up to Kyle but out of his reach. And this will be an icing. 2:21 showing on the clock. Face Hamilton to Siege right here. Luke, Kyle, Sonny, Max Hayes. Puck one back to the point. Kyle pressuring, going down low. Luke will skate with it. Shawnee also bothering. Puck goes behind the net. Hayes should be the first one to it. Deflected. Oh, and Shawnee almost snuck in behind the defense there. Luke throws that one out to Shawnee. He can't possess it. Shawnee knocks down the dump in, and then it's dumped back in. Steves will hold it up with 150 showing on the clock. Max picks up the puck, moves up the ice, goes around one man, changing the forwards as Max carries deep, has the puck knocked off his stick into the near corner. Rimmed around, Johnny trying to get over there in time, but can't, so Hayes will collect it at his own blue line. Hayes gains the red line, cross-ice pass to Max. Max's shot, glove save, no rebound. Seeds headed off the ice for the extra skater, and I suspect we'll call timeout here. And we will, 1:22 on the clock. Still a 1-0 game. Okay, so a minute 22 left. Goalie is out. I'm going to send Johnny, Jackson, Sonny, Kyle, Thomas, and Ray face off to the Nashville goalie's right. Sonny will move in for this draw. One in the defensive corner. Rimmed around, and this pops past Ray. Thomas will have to come back for it and go all the way behind his own net. 1:10 remaining as Thomas moves up the ice. Ray gets to Thomas. It's in his face. He goes back to Ray. Ray's pass is deflected. Hops over a stick. Falls back to Thomas. Thomas flips it up. Kyle gets bumped and Johnny collects in the corner. Tries to lay it back. Comes out to Thomas, but it hits a skate and goes out. So we have to come all the way out of the zone. 45 seconds remaining. Ray flips it forward, misses the intended target. And puck bouncing around, and then Thomas dumps in and gets chased. Puck behind the net. Johnny closes down on the half-boards, throws it in front. Dixo can't get a shot at it. Puck on the half-boards, 28 seconds remaining now. It's a 2-on-2 scrum. Comes out to Ray. Ray puts in the middle. Tries to pass it. It's deflected higher than net. Kyle fires it, misses the short side wide. Johnny goes back to Ray, but it's chipped past him, and this will be an empty net goal, and this will be the end of the game. 7 seconds remaining.